Hi, I'm Tim Cornell, and this is my vlog on my new student dialogue. The dialogue that I attended was on peer pressure. So now I'm just going to go and recap the questions that they ask on Blackboard. Um, did we achieve dialogue is the first one. Um, at first, it was extremely awkward. It's just kind of a group of kids, and just the moderators were talking. But then after time passed, people started opening up and talking. And I think as people saw that it was less painstaking to just sit there than it was to like actually start talking, people started opening up, and we actually got a pretty good flow going eventually. Um, and then the dynamic of the group, what I noticed kind of by the end was that me and kind of my non-fraternity sorority friends kind of saw that peer pressure was bad, or not saw, but it was our viewpoint that it was bad. Whereas fraternity guys saw that it was kind of a good thing, and a fun way to like experience college life, which I guess is probably why they chose to be in fraternities and why I chose not to. Um, so as a dynamic, that's kind of what I started to feel, just like an overview, because I mean, there's no way you could explain the dynamic of every person. Now, active and passive voices. In any group, you're really going to have some people who like to talk and some people who don't. It's just based on personality. Some people are more outgoing and willing to talk, and some people are kind of a little bit more quiet. As for me, I felt that I did talk quite a bit, just because I mean I'm not too outgoing, but I'm not shy. um, and I'm proud of the choices I've made regarding peer pressure. So um, I really wasn't afraid to talk about them. One example was when I was in high school. I played high school basketball, and all my basketball teams started to get kind of involved in drugs and partying, and so I didn't feel comfortable with that, and they were kind of trying to ask, get me involved with that stuff. So I actually ended up stopping playing basketball because I didn't want to talk with them. Um, Sorry, someone was at the door. uh, and then what else we got? Um, um, then why Library 100 is important. Um, I kind of saw that it's a good way to like once you get to college, making friends and stuff is kind of awkward. And learning how to talk with people in a new way and trying to be more open. I think that the new student dialogue is a great way to show people like how to talk about these difficult issues. Mine was on peer pressure, but there was some on racism or sexism and stuff like that. And I feel like that's really important. Kind of to create an accepting environment in a college life. And then also just a peer pressure example. Um, One of my new friends that I made when they first got here, I'm going to exclude the name because it's kind of inappropriate, um, was peer pressured into going streaking with one of their friends. And then when I was talking to her after, I was like, that's not really cool. I don't really approve of that. um, and she was like, you know what, I didn't think so either, but once I got to college and everyone was, my whole group was doing it, I didn't really think it was the cool thing to say no. And I was like, I would have respected you more if you said no, just because that shows, you're taking your own initiative. And I feel like, I mean, I'm not saying that if she did this new student dialogue, she would have been fine, but I feel like it would have helped her. I mean, it sure helped me. I mean, in high school, I experienced a lot of peer pressure, just through sports and stuff. But even compared to that, there's so much more at college because you're just surrounded by your friends all the time. It kind of reminds me of a quote that my uncle used to say: "If you want to see what you'll be like in 5 years, look at your friends." Um, so I always try not to, I choose my friends in that sense, but I try not to let them like affect who I am, and I try and choose my friends are based on who I am, not them creating who I am. Um, Another good like reference is kind of to be a leader and not a follower. Just because everyone else is doing it, for me, that doesn't seem like a good reason to choose to do something. Um, if I'm going to do something, it'll be because I want to do it, not because all my friends are trying to force me into it. Um, so in that sense, I'm kind of totally against peer pressuring. I mean, I think we came up with a few good ones for the most part in a way that peer pressure could be good, kind of getting you to get out of your comfort zone. But I feel like in the in the overview, like in a nutshell, for the majority of the time, when you're talking about peer pressure, it's kind of in a negative sense. So, I mean, yeah. Well, thank you for listening. That is my presentation on my new student dialogue.